All right, so you check into your hotel room in Bangkok,
Yeah.
right? You're expecting, maybe a rooftop pool, a fancy breakfast buffet,
Mm.
maybe a little something extra in the minibar.
Right, the usual.
But a room packed with over 120 guys in their underwear.
Hmm.
Not exactly the turn-down service you had in mind.
Not quite, no.
So today we're diving into this wild story from the Bangkok Post about a police raid that's got everything drugs, a secret social media group, and a guest list that's raising more than a few eyebrows.
Yeah, it certainly throws a new light on that phrase. What happens in Bangkok stays in Bangkok, doesn't it?
Uh-huh.
So early Sunday morning, police raid room 2001 at the S31 hotel, thinking, maybe a noise complaint.
Oh, right, right.
But instead, they find 124 men,
Wow.
and only 2 of them are fully clothed.
Oh my gosh. I'm just picturing a scene straight out of a college dorm room after a winning game,
Yeah.
but with, well, significantly less clothing.
And perhaps a slightly different kind of celebration.
Oh.
Because along with the men, police also found ecstasy and ketamine.
Okay, so maybe not your average frat party then.
No.
But wait, you said there were 2 people fully clothed?
Uh-huh.
Does that mean?
It does.
Oh, okay.
There were 2 women present as well, which just adds another layer of intrigue to this already bizarre situation.
Yeah, it's not your typical boys' night out, that's for sure.
Right.
And the article mentioned this wasn't just a spur-of-the-moment thing, right?
No, exactly. This party was carefully planned and organized via a private social media group.
Really?
In fact, there was a similar gathering the night before, same hotel, same room.
Wow. These folks were really committed to their festivities.
They were indeed.
Makes you wonder what kind of criteria you had to meet to get invited to this exclusive soiree.
Well, exclusivity was definitely key.
Mm-hmm.
The police actually tried to infiltrate the group by submitting an undercover application, but even they couldn't get in.
Rejected by the underwear party.
Ouch.
That's gotta sting.
Yeah.
It's like a scene straight out of a spy movie, right? Undercover cops trying to blend into a secret society of partygoers.
Right.
You can't make this stuff up.
Oh.
So what else did they find out about the attendees?
Well, this is where it gets even more interesting.
Okay.
Among the partygoers were doctors and beauty clinic operators.
Hold on. Doctors and beauty experts.
Oh, yeah.
Not exactly who I pictured at an underwear-themed gathering. I guess even those who, spend their days making people look good on the outside, like to let loose every now and then.
It certainly challenges our assumptions about who might be drawn to this type of event.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder about the pressures and expectations these professionals face in their daily lives and why they might seek out, such a drastically different environment for their leisure time.
Yeah, maybe it's a way to blow off steam, escape the pressures of their professions after all. Who hasn't fantasized about shedding their work persona and embracing something a little more uninhibited?
That's an interesting thought. This incident could actually point to a larger trend of professionals looking for outlets outside their prescribed roles, even if it means, taking risks. And the fact that it was organized through social media is significant as well.
Right, it speaks to the power of social media to connect people with shared interests, even if those interests are a bit, shall we say, unconventional.
Indeed.
But it also raises questions about the potential downsides of that connectivity, especially when it comes to activities that might not be strictly legal.
Absolutely. It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Social media can create a sense of community and belonging, but it can also, facilitate risky behavior and create these echo chambers where certain ideas and actions become normalized within a specific group.
And this case really highlights that contrast between public and private personas, doesn't it? Especially for professions where there's a high level of public trust and certain expectations of behavior.
Precisely. It raises questions about, the boundaries between personal freedom and professional responsibility. And of course, the presence of drugs adds another layer of complexity to the situation.
Right out of 124 people, 31 were found in possession of drugs, and another 66 tested positive for consumption.
Wow.
That's a pretty significant portion of the group, and it raises the stakes considerably.
It certainly does. And it makes the involvement of the 2 women even more intriguing.
Yeah.
The article doesn't really provide much detail about their roles in the gathering, which leaves a lot to the imagination.
Right. It's like a giant fill-in-the-blanks section of a very scandalous story.
Uh-huh.
Were they invited guests, organizers? Did they partake in the, shall we say, extracurricular activities?
Their presence adds a layer of mystery to an already perplexing situation.
Yeah.
And it begs the question, were their motivations and experiences at this party different from those of the men?
Really makes you think about the different roles people play in their lives and how those roles can sometimes collide in unexpected ways. I mean, who knew a seemingly innocent hotel room could hold so much mystery and intrigue in well-exposed skin.
It's a fascinating case study in human behavior, isn't it? You have this group of professionals, individuals who are highly respected in their fields, engaging in behavior that's, shall we say, a far cry from their public image. It challenges our assumptions about success and respectability and what people do behind closed doors.
Like peeking behind the curtain of everyday life and finding something completely unexpected.
Right.
And it speaks to that, human desire to break free from societal norms, to explore, different aspects of ourselves, even if those explorations take us to some rather unconventional places.
This incident could be a reflection of a larger societal trend.
Yeah.
Maybe a sign that people are craving more authentic connections, more opportunities for self-expression, even if those opportunities exist outside, the boundaries of what's considered acceptable behavior.
It's like we're all living double lives to some extent. The polished professional version of ourselves that we present to the world, and then the well-underwear-clad version that yearns for a little bit of freedom and fun.
And social media has created a space where those two worlds can intersect.
Right.
For better or worse. It allows people to connect with others who share their interests, even if those interests are outside the mainstream. But it also creates a platform where risky behavior can be amplified and, potentially have serious consequences.
It's a reminder that every story has multiple layers, multiple perspectives, and sometimes the most interesting stories are the ones that leave us with more questions than answers.
Absolutely.
What do you think, dear listener? What surprised you most about this story? What questions are still lingering in your mind?
Perhaps this deep dive has prompted you to consider your own public and private personas, the roles you play in different aspects of your life. Or maybe it's simply sparked a curiosity about, the hidden lives of others and the secrets that lie beneath the surface of everyday life.
Whatever your takeaway, we hope you've enjoyed this glimpse into the unexpected, the unconventional, and the undeniably entertaining. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and remember what happens in Bangkok. Well, sometimes it ends up in the headlines.